All right, everyone, gas prices are beginning to inch down. It's a little bit like egg prices and being treated similarly by the legacy media. By the way, 11% seems to be a magical number. Egg prices, as of the other day, were down 11% from their peak. Precipitous drop, by the way, considerable. It'll take a little bit more time for it to attain equilibrium, so I'm hoping soon, sans culling all of the eggs, we will have a cheap source of protein again and be able to have our deviled eggs because those are very, very important, especially around Easter time. Yeah, I'm going to be making those, that's for sure. Boiled dinner with some deviled eggs and bread on the side, Irish soda bread. You can't really get better than that. Now oil is tacking in the same direction. Again, 11%, the magical number that oil is down by since peak. Now, this doesn't immediately affect gasoline prices. Those are only down a few cents. So it'll take a little bit of time. I think the national average is approaching $3. It's falling down towards $3 per gallon, which is good. Still excessive? Yes. Better than before? Yeah. I mean, if you can save a few cents when you're gassing up, what's wrong with that? Nonetheless, the legacy media, much with egg prices, scrambles to claim Trump has nothing to do with this. He was responsible for the continued inching up of prices in the first month of his presidency. Once the prices began to stabilize and fall, all of a sudden he had absolutely nothing to do with it. Link in the description, archived of course. The legacy media bitching and complaining about how Trump is taking credit for the lower gas prices. Okay, so you blamed him when gas prices were continuing to inch up. He was responsible for that, despite the fact that he had barely even sat in the Oval Office again. But now that he's had a while to establish his economic policy, not fully implemented, but partially, all of a sudden he's not responsible if the prices go down. How telling. Trump derangement syndrome, a 10 out of 10. This has happened before. Happened during his first administration, too. If something goes wrong, obviously the buck stops here. You need to take ownership of this situation. But if something goes right, they either don't talk about it at all or they don't give credit where credit's due, like with the Abraham Accords or something like that. Some major diplomatic or economic policy that actually pans out. Donald Trump is virtually unincluded from the coverage of it. Very, very strange. I wonder why this could possibly be. I have press X to doubt. I have no idea. Now, it's obvious what the idea is. The idea is to freeze out the administration because he doesn't play well with the legacy media, because he knows the legacy media won't play well with him. It's sort of like blaming the kid who doesn't want to associate with another kid because the other kid constantly torments them and saying that they're the perpetrator of this cycle of not talking to one another. It's completely ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. The fact is that Trump's trade war is working, generally speaking. We'll be talking about that separately in the case of Vermont, actually, in our local economics with regards to the proposed wine tariff on France. It's a thing for my state. Just saying it would be equivalent to a dairy embargo and the help that it would give to a state like Wisconsin or Michigan. We'll get into that more later. Now, the gas prices are falling. They're moving in a positive direction. Not positive as in increasing, but positive as in better for the people in general. This will also lower costs on other goods. If the oil price plummets, while it doesn't necessarily create an incentive to drill baby drill and make money, well, I mean, the price is high enough so that it's still lucrative, so they'll still do that. I'm sure there'll be some sort of subsidies involved as well. It definitely affects manufacturing. It affects transportation, and that includes virtually every good that you buy. Most of you don't buy mainly local goods. I try to buy local whenever I can. It's more efficient, and also Vermont products, I have to say, are top-notch. We have some good pickles and shit, and definitely a lot of microbreweries at this point. We're giving half of New England alcoholism. That being said, Most of the things that you buy, they don't come locally. They come from some other state, some other region, possibly another country. So Trump's particular policies, especially with regards to energy, facilitate that. If you can bring the price of oil down, and there's a lag, and then the gas price comes down, it costs, and diesel, it costs less to transport goods from one place to another. This is a good thing. This means less sticker shock. Prices will come down. Deflationary policies on the free market level, it's a good idea. It's inarguably a good idea. I mean, he imposed this sort of policies before, and it worked. That's just the long and short of it is that his economic policies for 3.5 years before the lockdown risk period were working very, very well during his first term. I look forward to a second term of similar policies. And he's doubling down too. I can't remember how many regulations have to be cut in order for one new regulation to pass, but it's more than it was in his first term. Then you've got the reduction of the educational board by 50%. You've got slashes to the IRS. You've got slashes to the DOJ. Everything is pretty much lining up. Are there still some concerns about the administration? Yes, and I'm going to hold their toes to the fire if I don't get the Epstein files particularly. That being said, at the same time, when the bureaucracy appears to be in complete rout and people are more able to simply live their lives unmolested by the state, that's always a good thing. It's never a bad thing. The state is the ultimate arbiter of your misery. Foreign state is not going to abuse you. They may send an assassin in for someone high profile once in a great while. Other than that, they can't do anything. The United States is too vast, too well armed, too well populated, and has too big a military and intel cell in order for foreign powers to really abuse you at all. The problem is that maintaining this particular system, outside of the militia, of course, which should be much larger and more well-armed, in my opinion, it makes your own government, which can legally abuse you, more powerful. That's really the problem. So gas prices are falling now, but Donald Trump isn't responsible for that. He was responsible for the gas prices for the first month. As soon as they petered out and started falling back down, all of a sudden, he has nothing to do with it. His policies don't affect it in any meaningful way, shape, or form. Imagine that. Coincidental coincidence. That's about all. Peace out.